It is Matt Mosley, the Matt Mosley Show. And joining us from Dallas right now, Michael Woodson, Baylor men's tennis coach. And man, I've been so excited to have him on. He might not recognize me unless I have my sunglasses on here. But we're getting him ready as we speak. And what a week. I mean, you could argue, obviously, they've won a national title, they played for a national title, but by some measures, this is one of the best weeks they've had in several years. Talking about Baylor men's tennis. So, Kevin's probably getting this worked out as we speak. Oh, there he is. There he is. It is match day, and Michael Woodson joining me now. Michael, I like this angle. We're kind of shooting up at you there. I think that's good. No. We're good. I'm so happy you could do this today because you got a lot on your plate. But man, thanks for coming on and congratulations. I was just talking about it. What a run. I was just trying to think the last time Baylor had in men's tennis a week like this, it was probably having to do with the Final Four and that kind of thing. I mean, this is this ITA National Indoor Championships. You guys are on a run, and congratulations.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Matt. It's always a pleasure to spend some time with you. I know you're a big tennis fan too, so I love talking college tennis, pro tennis with you. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough question to answer. I'm thinking back on, we've certainly had some runs and some excitement, but I would think going back to 2021 in the national championship, maybe the round of 16 quarterfinals and semis of three really quality wins in a row. And so, yeah, what's been a successful national indoor first couple of rounds, tacking on that Texas A&M win at the beginning of the week really made it special. So we're hoping to just keep that going.
Did the A&M win sort of jumpstart or kind of set the tone for this run you're on? I just, obviously there was a lot of emotion and used to play A&M for all those years, but that was before you even got here, I guess. But it's not like y'all haven't maybe had some run-ins with A&M over the years. What was that like? I can remember watching A&M years ago, and they would have some of the loudest, most enthusiastic players. I'm not even talking about the fans. I can remember watching a guy in Waco, being down there for something, and I have this memory of some A&M kid. I swear I'm probably going 20 years ago. And I mean, I remember the emotion, but beating a rival, an hour and a half away on the Brazos, that's got to be a cool feeling. What happened that day, and what has that allowed you guys to do moving forward?
Yeah, I think, we know we have a great team. We knew that. We've known that for the whole year. The guys have been working really hard. I think they have a lot of belief in themselves and each other. And, we had a couple of tough losses at the beginning of the year on the road at San Diego, and then more recently at TCU, where I thought we competed pretty well, but there were some things that we could have done a little bit better. And so we were excited for the A&M match. They knocked us out of the tournament last year in the NCAA tournament in the second round, 4-3 last match on at their place. And so really we're excited for this opportunity. And, the crowd was incredible. It was a great match. Like, we had a really cool theme that my wife, Vanessa, came up with. The Hawkins Indoor is the same name as the city in Stranger Things, Hawkins. And so, we did this blackout event, and we're going to turn Hawkins upside down. And the fans got into it. We had some really cool T-shirts. And so, yeah, the place was packed and loud. And, and the guys really responded very well to that. And we had a great performance after a tough doubles point. And so I think it really, validated our feelings of, we have a legit team, and we can play with anybody in the country. And we've been able to build on that momentum. Yes, beating a rival like Texas A&M means so much, and I think it means a lot to our program. We've been building on this for a couple of years now, and so it felt like a big moment for us, as we kind of reestablish ourselves as one of the best programs in the country.
Where is your doubles right now? I feel like you feel great about it, but I saw your quote the other day. You thought maybe you guys were a bit tentative at times. And just from a tennis standpoint, when you say something like that, is that like tentative? Guys aren't coaching enough. Guys aren't aggressive enough. What? Because you wanted to set the tone. You felt like you would need that point, and yet you found a way to beat like this, like the defending national champs. Anyway, but like, what are you capable in doubles, and what are y'all doing best in doubles when you're really on your game?
Yeah, the thing that I think has been frustrating for us is we have really good doubles players, and finding the right combinations. We have one team that's doing very well. The others, we just hadn't quite found the right combinations. And when I say we were a bit tentative, I mean we're trying to make everything that we do too good. We're trying to hit the perfect serve. We're trying to hit the best return possible. And then we're just making errors and then playing off of second serves. We're missing too many returns. And instead of just being aggressive and banging the serve in there, maybe body, taking the middle a little bit more often, being willing to rip returns at the net man a little bit more. And so our understanding of doubles is very high, but our execution has been poor. And so I think we have a ton of room for improvement in that space. I think we're getting closer. We just have to continue to focus on it, and hopefully, it's not a really difficult long-term fix. It's more of a switch for us. And I think once the light bulb goes on for our guys upstairs, I think we'll look out for our doubles point.
Interesting. Maybe sometimes being a little too exacting, or with a serve, or I'm going to put this in the exact right spot. Are your guys doubles wise? Like, how much communication is going on? This is the great thing about tennis, is watching some of that teamwork and everything. And I watch the pros, and they're always doing stuff behind their back and everything, and plays. And I was even watching something on YouTube the other night, which is dangerous when I start doing that. But like watching the guys have a certain play where they do something, and then they'll both switch sides or whatever. Like, how much strategy goes into it, and how much do you not want to give them too much to think about? How do you kind of balance that?
I think doubles is a little bit more precise than singles. I think it's more by the book as opposed to more of a feel thing in singles. And so there's less wiggle room, but generally, the communication has to be really strong. We talk about playing the fifth position really well, which there's the server, the returner, the server's partner, the returner's partner, and then there's being a great teammate out on the court. And part of that is making sure that they're leading their teammate well. They're picking them up when they're down. They're building them up, after something good happens, but then also they're instructing them, well, hey, this is how I feel. This is what what I really want to do right now. And we have a coach on every court too. And so there's a lot of communication that goes between the three, and that has to be really sharp in order to do a good job. And it goes so quickly in college tennis, a 6-game set, no ad scoring, 2 out of 3 of them for a point. And so you don't have a lot of time to figure it out there. You're either going to get it right away or you're going to lose.
You overruled your own player's call the other day. I was reading about that, and it's like, that's an interesting thing. I'm sure it's not the first time you've had to do that, but you did, and it kind of worked out because you then get the point you needed. But like, how in the moment as a coach to make a decision like that, even because you don't know, because I don't even know, they don't call it the Hawkeye system, do they? In college, when they go to that replay, what is it? Is it not as reliable as what we see on the pro circuit?
So, I mean, without getting too far into the weeds, it's a silver standard versus Hawkeye being a gold standard. So the margin for error is maybe a couple of more millimeters versus the Hawkeye that you're used to, where you use a play replay is what it's called, an electronic line calling system. The reason that I did that was because it was 6-4. To this day, I have no idea if the ball was in or out. I'm standing on the line. I know it's close. And all the guys basically have an overrule. And if he gets overruled there by the challenge system, then he gets a point penalty. And so the score goes from 6-4 to 6-6. And to me, him returning at 6-4, that's not an important point for us. I understand that if the ball was out, we win the match. But the risk of him having to then lose his serve point the major advantage that he has is a 6'8" guy with a massive serve versus, playing now at 6-all where all the momentum has gone away from us to Wake Forest. It wasn't worth it there. We had told him, listen, Devin, we're going to be, we're going to protect you here. If you make and all the guys, if you make a call that we're not sure about, we're just going to overrule you because it's not worth it in that situation. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. The second he called the ball out, I'm like, I don't really want to play roulette on this. I've seen a couple of errors from the machines earlier on other courts and didn't want to risk it there. Let's play the percentages and have Devin try to serve it out. And fortunately it worked out.
They don't get like mad at you in that moment when your players, every once in a while, they're so locked in.
There's so much adrenaline. They're so locked in. I mean, he doesn't know if he saw that ball clearly or not, and I think they all know that we're maybe a little bit more clear and level-headed in those situations than them. And fortunately, we have a lot of trust that goes both ways. So, it ended up working out. It was a bang play. Until you said it right there, I never really thought about, what am I thinking in the moment other than that was the right thing to do right then. And let's give Devin a chance to win the match.
All right. And having Luke and Devin in those huge clutch moments, what did that mean to you guys? You drop a couple of sets, those guys come back, they get in those tiebreakers, which are so tough. But I mean, obviously, you had the right people in the right situations there. Are those guys just built like that in a lot of ways? Have they had to grow to that point? Like just to have those guys in that situation, and one of those guys was, I think whoever Devin was up against was ranked number 21 in the country or something as a singles player. He's a big time player. How have they kind of gotten to that point?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think they both have the ability to play very well under pressure and to back themselves, but they've certainly had to grow into emotionally handling the moment. And I would say more than anything, besides handling the moment well, backing themselves to play the right way. And so I think for me, that was a big thing to see. And Luke, really made some amazing adjustments and did a very, very nice job under pressure after really kind of getting blown off the court at the beginning of the match. And then Devin has played DK twice, has not won a set. DK knocked him out of the NCAA tournament individuals in November. And so there were some adjustments that we needed to make to have that success. And Devin was able to do that. And it was pretty amazing to see him execute some serves and some first ball plays that he was unable to do in November. So really proud of him for that. It was quite the script flip there.
All right. What's the venue like tonight? And how many fans could we get in there if we get the word out? And I'm sure you'll have some people in the Dallas area who want to come over. What's the vibe like over there? I've seen tournaments over there because the Dallas Open used to be held over there. But what will this? And again, I'm sure y'all played in this venue quite a bit. But what's this like, and what kind of crowd do you expect? I'm sure you'd prefer to have this thing at your place, obviously, but hopefully some Baylor fans can show up and offer some support tonight.
Yeah, it's an incredible venue. When we agreed to host this tournament, we talked about, hey, if we make it to the semifinals, we're certainly not going to be complaining about playing in Dallas, and making that short drive up there. So it's a great problem for us to have. But SMU has an incredible complex. It seats about 1,500, fans. And I would expect it to be sold out. Our pass list is incredibly long now. And there's a lot of excitement around our program. And obviously to be able to play Texas too, they're going to have a great crowd as well. And so, I think it's going to be an amazing environment. We've enjoyed our time playing at Hawkins, but excited for this stage. And I think we're going to have a different crowd here. Many people will make the drive, the 90-minute drive up here, but a ton of Dallas area Bears are going to be here. So really excited to play such a huge match in front of them.
Who's made the biggest jump for you this season? It's an interesting team because there are guys I recognize that have been around, and then there's some guys you've had transfers. You got younger players. Like the mix of this team. Is there anybody that's even exceeded your expectations recently that seems to be making a big jump right now for you?
Yeah, I mean, I could say quite a few of them, to be honest. They've done a great job developmentally, but I would say the one that has really stood out to me is Jean Veltz.
Yeah.
Z has he has a very high level, and he's an incredibly talented player, but he's turned it into being a great competitor, and he's built up his resilience very well to handle what is a very difficult position. Playing at the number 2 position against top 5 teams is really hard to do. And he's won every single match this year so far. He's undefeated, in singles, and he's beating these guys in straight sets. And I think all the attention ends up going to guys like Luke and Devin and some of these other guys that are playing the long 3-setters. But Z's quietly just winning straight set matches against top 15, top 20 players in the country, match in and match out.
It was kind of cool the other night. It had like 3 grand slams in the baseball game, and then the tennis news is breaking, and it's just like, but I think Baylor kind of needed some, basketball obviously had some setbacks, men's basketball right now, and I just isn't it kind of cool when a couple of really neat things happen at the I like the walk and talk. This is kind of like I feel like this is what we need to do as you're getting ready for a match, just to kind of watch you walk out there. By the way, have you found a good place in Dallas to take the guys to eat and everything? What's going on?
Well, we came in yesterday afternoon, and we went to HG Supply, which the guys
nice.
really like, and so that was fun, good to spend time together. But they're training the ball kids for the matches this afternoon, and so I was right next to them, so I didn't want to distract you guys. But no, I mean, I'm really excited for Mitch and his program. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased and maybe paying slightly closer attention to the baseball program with my brother on the team. And
yes,
it was really cool to watch the Tice to go off on Friday night, and for them to get a sweep, I think is huge. And obviously, softball's off to an 8-2 start, and 4 out of 5 in two different tournaments. And the way that they're winning games, I think, is really special. I've loved the competitiveness of Glenn's program, and yeah, I mean, obviously women's basketball is doing a great job too. So in Acro, I mean, it's probably on track for their 11th national championship. So it's pretty amazing to be a part of such a special athletic department. And I think obviously men's basketball has had some tough games, and but we know they're capable of doing a lot, and doesn't take much. Once in a while, you just need one break like we had in order to build some momentum. So it's an exciting time.
Isn't it crazy that you've been here a decade? I was just looking at that today, and 6 years as the head coach. But like, man, does it feel like it's flown by? I mean, a lot has happened, and early in your time as head coach, there you are playing for a national title. I mean, there's a lot that's happened. But it's been what's it feel like to you? Does it feel like you've been here that long?
I would say once in a while, it feels like it was just yesterday that I was getting to Baylor, especially when I am around those guys that that were here when I first started. But you're right. I mean, a lot has happened, and I've transitioned from this. I don't feel that old right now, but I sometimes when young coaches are talking to me and wanting me to recount what lessons that I've learned and mentor them, it really feels like, man, a lot has happened in the last decade, and I've been through a lot. Just super blessed to be able to be at a place like this. I think for a long time, that's what my wife and I were thinking, is we really want to raise our family in Waco. And the way it's kind of come together with my parents now live here. My in-laws have lived here for 9 years. We're raising our kids in Waco. It's a really special thing. My brother's here. My sister's at Abilene playing basketball. So it's a family affair here at Baylor. And so a lot has occurred, but just, I would say so many positives, and it's just amazing opportunity to be able to be a part of this program and university.
Can you still hit with your players? You feel like, just based on your knowledge, you could maybe give one of them a hard time in singles, or are they a little bit too young and a little too athletic at this point?
I would say if I had been playing every day for the last 6 years or so, then I could keep up with them, not competitively, but I could keep up with them. I have, when I started being the head coach, George Goldhoff was one of our assistants, and Isak, who was top 100 in the world. Those guys were just much better than me. So they hit every day. They had an appetite for it. And since then, I just don't hit that often. Now I'm relegated to hitting with my daughters, which is an amazing thing. And I want to stay fit. I work out a lot to stay fit enough to try to keep up with them. But as far as hitting with my guys go, we just have younger assistants, and Isak, who is such a high level player, that they end up jumping in before me. And so I've gotten out of the rhythm. And now I don't want to, screw up my players, but, I would like to think I'm fit enough to do a lot of things with them. But from a ball control thing, it's going to take me a while to get back to where they're at. That's for sure.
Who's got the best drop shot on the team?
Oh, that's a good question. We really frown upon those, but Connor Van Skalkvik is such a talented player that we let him, when he's in the right position, use the drop shot once in a while. He has incredible hands.
They're just crushing it at this level so much, right? It's just, and it's just not. It doesn't enter as much because you see Alcaraz do it with great success, and you see a lot of the guys. But that's interesting. I can't believe it's going so fast, like that they still have to call their own. I mean, again, maybe college tennis will get to the point where, like you say, they could get the gold standard but that's tough, isn't it? Still, with as many courts are in use, and I guess the expense isn't quite there yet.
It's definitely not there yet as far as cost goes. But you're right. I mean, it's a really hard thing to do when we're playing at this pace with this much pressure on these young men. I think it's a really hard thing to do, to call the lines. And I wouldn't say, I mean, certainly, okay, there's some bad calls that are made, but I think when these kids miss calls, they're trying their best. It's just really difficult. And so I do think we need to get to a system where the ELC just calls the lines for us. That would be a big step in the right direction. And we're close. I think the system we have right now is a huge positive. And I think that company and some others are very close to the machines just calling all the lines. I think that would be a great thing for our sport.
All right. Lastly, did you get to see any Shelton Fritz in the Dallas Open or any of the replay? I know you're like me. You go over to the Tennis Channel from time to time, and you can see Rotterdam, or you can see I think there were 3 different things going on, which is kind of fun. Did you get to see any of that match?
Unfortunately, I did not watch the finals. It's been busy. I've been watching a lot of film of Texas playing and reviewing our guys and working with them. And so I do watch. We had 3 Bears playing in Dallas this past week, which was really cool. John Pierce made the semis of doubles. Connie made the quarterfinals of doubles. And Jensen Brooksby ended up losing 7-6 in the third to Tommy Paul in the first round. But a great match. And so I would have been tuning in if I hadn't have been busy with our guys. But I heard it was an amazing match. Both guys are playing at such a high level that, there's a lot to be learned from it for sure.
Okay. And I said last one, Longhorns, anything that in your film study that has just jumped off the page at you? We can't share too much. We don't want the Longhorns to know what we're thinking, but what stands out the most about that team? Because you're beating all these people, and they're all ranked right around the same place. It's like 8, 9, 3, and I think this team's 7th right now. What stands out the most about this team?
Yeah, just really big physical guys. I would say, more in tennis, the teams are all over the map. All the guys are different sizes, different game styles. It's really impressive, their size. And they've brought in some older guys that are January additions that are, 20, 22, 23 years old. And so these guys are physical. They've played a lot of tennis out on the tour and with a ton of success. And so I thought that stood out to me in watching them. And so it's going to be a challenge for us, but I think it's one that we're ready for.
All right. I was thinking about doing a horns down there, but we'll let the fans do that if they want to tonight. But best of luck. I'm going one way or another. I'll be trying to take this one in as you get going at 6:30 this evening. And if somebody wants to watch this at home, is it because I was watching something on that cracked. The cracked tennis,
rackets.
Yeah, cracked rackets. What's the best way to take this in if people can't be there in person?
Yes, you can stream it via Cracked Rackets YouTube channel live. The Virginia versus Ohio State match will start at 3:30, and we will follow at the conclusion of that match.
All right. We can see if you have to do any more line calls. But Michael, always fun to have you, and especially on such a big day. Lots of excitement around this program. Get after them tonight, and continued success to you.
Thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure.
All right, there he goes. Michael Woodson, Baylor men's tennis. They're really good. And I mean, I wish I could have talked with him about the whole team, because they're, I mean, barrels. I mean, and then the bad man. You heard that the other day when Devin won. I think that on that Cracked Rackets they had somebody saying he's a bad man and all that. It was kind of a